Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? I'm back today again with Autism Uprooted, BioNexus Health podcast series. Actually, today it's mold biotoxin illness plus Lyme disease and Autism Uprooted. My guest today is Evan from North Carolina. So Evan is a biodynamic farmer, a huge animal lover, an avid martial artist, and a yogi. I spoke to his beautiful wife, Stacy, a couple podcasts ago, and today Evan has agreed to talk to us about his and his family's journey to wellness using plant-based herbal medicine. Before we start, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It's completely free and it really helps us to spread the message to a much wider audience.
Welcome to the BioNexus Health podcast with Dr. Jodie Dashore, who holds a Ph.D. in Integrative Medicine, is board certified in Integrative Pediatrics, an internationally recognized pioneering clinician, and author. And now here's your host of BioNexus Health podcast, Dr. Jodie Dashore.
Hey Evan, how you doing?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So happy to have you here today.
Well, thanks for having me.
So shall we get started?
Let's.
All right. Can you tell me what brought you to BioNexus Health? You're aware that BioNexus uses a completely natural plant-based herbal medicine approach. So what brought you to BioNexus Health?
Well, my son has been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, and my wife has made it her personal mission to make him as healthy and give him the best chance at recovering as she possibly can. And I'm completely on board with her. And from years now of doing research and going to different places and things, she came upon you. And when she had him tested for Lyme disease, she said, well, we should all do it. And we did. And yeah, like 3 of us have it. So yeah, here we are.
Okay. You guys have also been exposed to water damaged buildings, mold and mycotoxins as well?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
Yeah, we travel a lot for our job. So we've, you never know with like what hotel you're staying in and things like that. But we moved to North Carolina from New Hampshire, and the house we moved into now is on the same property as our business. And it's an older house. And when we came in, because of my son's health issues, we kind of tore the place apart and was looking for mold and mildew and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it was in cabinetry, and you can see water stains on some of the ceilings, and so we've done our best to mitigate that, but certainly this is helping a lot.
Were you aware of the brain inflammatory contribution of mold to autism?
Yes and no. I mean, my wife is so dedicated to researching everything for my son. And with me, I totally care, and I'm very committed to it, but she's barraging me with like new information every 5 minutes. And so some goes in one ear and out the other, but yeah, I'm sort of aware. So.
Well, thanks for the honesty, because I'm sure, many wonderful dads out there will relate
Yes,
to what
I'm
you
sure.
said. Right, mothers on a mission. Yeah, I know, I can relate to that. Yes,
right, exactly.
Absolutely. So tell me your personal journey. What improvements, like first going into this, you had some minor to moderate concerns, which you were handling, and then we started your herbal medicine protocol. So can you kind of walk me through the before and the after?
Right. Well, I mean, I have had that mentality because I've heard from my parents and their generation that, oh, wait until you get older, everything hurts. And so I've just taken it like, well, I was a kid, I rode dirt bikes, I played sports, I beat the crap out of myself, now I'm feeling pain, and probably rightfully so. So I guess I didn't really ever stop and think, oh, does this pain make sense? Or how did I get this? And it all kind of came to a head when I started talking to you. I had, for about 10 years now, I was getting really terrible, like crippling headaches in my like sinus area. And it would typically come on with like a change of pressure or weather. And I wouldn't sleep well when, say, rain was coming the next day. The night before, I would have kind of a restless sleep. And as the night went on, the more I'd notice a headache. And it would really ruin my day until around the early afternoon. And then it would sort of dissipate. And it was bad enough that I wasn't able to do my job a few times, and my wife had to step in for me, which really is, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, humiliating in a way, because you're hired to do a job, you want to do it, and you don't want to go, oh, ow, I can't do this. But it was really bad. And it was so bad that that I started noticing the weather because of it, and like trying to, what the heck is this? And with what I feel like the nose spray, but any of this stuff could have been, that's completely gone now. When I wake up in the morning and it's raining, I'm like, wow, I slept great, no headache. Other things like, in my right hand for my job, when I we've shown dogs, and we have a boarding kennel, and we do grooming and stuff like that. And it requires like trimming dogs with scissors. And in my right hand, my first two knuckles were constantly like almost arthritic feeling. And I'd have to work them out and stretch them and take medication, and then I'd do it and get through it. Now I haven't felt that pain in months. Another thing is my memory for people's names. I had a pretty decent memory, but with people's names, it was just in one ear, out the other, as hard as I tried. And then I had that anxiety of, oh, I should know your name, but I'm probably going to get it wrong. Something horrible will come out of my mouth and I'll really regret it. So I'm just going to call you, hey, buddy, how are you? And now I've found that those names come to me like while I'm speaking to them, and with full confidence. And the only other thing I can say is like, I feel better, I feel younger and healthier,
I like the way you said, you feel younger and healthier.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really awesome.
It's incremental, but it's definitely noticeable,
So no longer, when you, as you get old, things are going to start hurting.
Right. I was wondering, like, oh my God, what am I going to feel like when I'm 70? Like,
oh goodness, right? Yeah. Right. You're barely 40, so
I'm not even. I'm 39. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I am absolutely thrilled, with the progress that you've made. As the dad of your family, trying to hold it together, trying to, make sure everyone is taken care of. I was very happy when you decided to take care of yourself as well. Yeah. So I'm really glad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been well worth it.
You've been able to go back to martial arts, yoga.
Yes, I'm starting in that. It's been our new business we started 6 months ago has been all time consuming, but it's getting to the point where we're in a routine. And I started doing martial art yoga sort of stuff 2 weeks ago. Okay. And another thing that makes me think of that, both my wife and I did martial arts. We both have the Lyme disease and like the joint inflammation and things like that. Mm-hmm. And we did really well with martial arts, but it makes me wonder how much better I could have been. And maybe I'll find out. But if I hadn't felt like I was 70 when I went out there.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. You have a good, productive, another 50 years ahead of you, I would think.
All right.
Right? Why not?
Right.
Why not? Now that you are on the right track. Now, Your son has done remarkably well as well on the herbal protocol. You've seen a lot of improvements.
Yes, I have. He definitely has marked improvements, and it's tough with him because he picks up habits and like OCD sort of things. So you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt. But we've definitely noticed more talking, which he has a large vocabulary that he almost never uses. So it's stunning when he comes out with a paragraph, like multiple sentences, and you're like, where's this kid come from? And then it goes away for a while. But we've noticed with him, especially recently, that he's calmer, that he's more focused, and I'm really excited what that is going to produce with his personality. Because I've always wondered if he could just sit and focus on the subject at hand, how great it would be to be able to see what my son actually thinks about something and says, and watch him, just his personality come out. And that is definitely happening.
Yes, Stacey had mentioned, after you guys have left no stone unturned, all the way from stem cells to various treatments. Yes. She does a lot of research, and you've tried it all. And we were very thrilled with the dramatic improvement that he made within a couple months on herbal medicine. So, he does have a lot of potential.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely see things, and it's tough to like pin down what improvements with him. Like I'd have to write a list of, okay, today he improved in this and this, but I can generally honestly tell you he's definitely improving.
Wow. Yes, he's making changes every single day, positive changes every day.
Yes.
Yeah. You mentioned the other day to me about a certain mechanical project, father and son were able to do together.
Yes. Yeah.
What was that?
So I have a car, an old car. I had one in high school, a Camaro, and I loved it. But I was young. I didn't have any money, so I had to sell it for something bigger that worked better for me. But about a year and a half ago, because I haven't shut up about it since I've been with Stacey, she surprised me and got me the exact same year and make and model.
Oh, so
I have it, and then we moved here, and we have all this sort of stuff. And anyway, so I needed to change the old wheels out for the like nicer ones that I have. And my son, lately, another improvement of him, whatever project I'm doing, wherever I am, he wants to be with me and he wants to see what it is. But he went out there and helped me tighten lug nuts and was using like the socket and wrench the right way. And I just had to show him a little bit, and he got right on it and did it and had a genuine interest and focus on it. And before, he couldn't focus long enough. He would have to yell out a number and run and jump somewhere, and then he would see something and have to go look at that, and then he would come back. And this time he stayed with me and observed it before he even did it. He had that much of concentration.
Fantastic. Yeah, that was such a heartwarming episode that you mentioned to me, the incident, I mean. So.
Yeah, it means a lot to me, and with that, like, he loves you, and that he smiles, and he has his moments like right before he falls asleep that he can focus enough. But when you have those moments where your son wants to do something with you that you've never had before, where this is my pal and I can see we're bonding, and it's actually in a way that I understand.
Yeah.
And I don't have to make excuses for him of, oh, well, he loves me and I know that, but like he has other things that are going through his head. I actually had that father-son moment where my son wants to do something with me, and it was great.
It's so amazing.
Yeah.
And I love the way you explained it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It touches your heart. You just have to speak from your heart in those moments, because it really means a lot to me. I'm sure it's some dopey thing to him, and he's like, oh, that's interesting, Dad, what are you doing? But like, to me, it's like, oh my God, you're 8 years old, and this has happened like once in your life that you've wanted to do something that I'm interested in, just to mimic me, just to learn what I'm doing. And like, this time is happening right now. Oh my God.
Right, tightening lug nuts. So
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Hey, cool. But I'll take whatever it is.
Sure,
Right?
yeah. Yeah, see, that's another thing, Evan. He's your son is 8 years old,
Mhm.
and often parents of autistic children think that it has to be done before the age of 5 if we are
Mhm.
to see any improvements. And I'm seeing a lot in my practice as well that isn't necessarily the benchmark for
Mhm.
improvement. I mean, he's still a little kid. His brain still has a lot of neuroplasticity, and given the right tools and the right approach, he can certainly make tremendous strides.
Yeah. Well, that's our hope for him for sure.
Mine too. So what would you say to gentlemen and dads out there watching about about diet, about making sure that the environment is clean and clear of mold? If you have a child with special needs, the diet, the environment, herbal medicine, what would you say to other dads watching?
I would say that before we had our son and before he was diagnosed, I knew almost nothing about this. I thought, being a guy, having played sports and doing manly stuff all my life, I kind of thought like, oh, a little bit of this, who cares? My immune system will handle it, no big deal. But my whole mind was blown with how much I didn't know and how much we're all individuals, and certain things affect other people more than they may affect you. Maybe you have no problem with coming across mold that you know of, or maybe you don't, but maybe your kid does, and I think as a parent, you owe it to your kid to say you have tried absolutely everything to give them the best life that they can have. And I firmly believe we found, through a million things that we've done, I mean, a million things, and years of it, I have found that this is giving us the most hope, and we're seeing results from it. And we're only a little ways into it, but we're confident that this is going in the right direction. And I think if they're listening to this, they care about their kids, they want the best for their kids. And this is definitely something to give it a try, and keep an open mind. That's the most important thing, because you can think, and I was guilty of this, that, oh, I hear this on the news, or I was told this, so now I'm basically an expert, and there's yahoos out there who think this and that and the other thing. You have no idea how much you don't know about things. You're no expert. You're just doing the best you can. So keep an open mind and try whatever you can to make your kid healthier.
Very well put.
I mean, it's the life we've lived for, I want to say, like 6.5 years now, and I've learned so much. And just, I look back and like, wow, I was really naive to think that, oh, that's not that big of a deal. I mean, everybody hears, oh, mold's bad for you, but you don't know until you actually see what it does to you, or Lyme disease, or any of these things. And with every person, they have their own sensitivities, and they have their so whereas, like I said, mold might not affect you that bad, but it might really cripple your kid. So keep an open mind, try to keep things clean. And like, we have air purifiers all over the place now, and we have an air scrubber and all of that. And I just, with all we are doing now, we all feel better, and that's what it really is. It's us. And though my son can't completely verbalize, hey, I feel great today, I can see it. When he sleeps through the night really well, he wakes up with a smile on his face. When he's calmer during the day, when he's more focused, he's more productive, I can see he's doing better.
Yes. You guys are healing as a family, and I find that to be, a critical piece I remember you said 6.5 years. Yeah. With my son, it was, about 7.5, 8 years. It took us to kind of unravel everything and try to address things piece by piece and, move forward slowly. And that was the most complicated process.
Right.
Who would have thunk, all right, that this is going to happen with my child. But like you said, you kind of, stick with it. You keep moving forward, look at the next step. As long as your child is improving, that is the most important thing. And,
absolutely. And I mean, that's what we have done this whole time. It was, we were fortunate enough to run into another mom of a kid who was on the spectrum, and he said something for the first time, and my wife heard that and was like, oh my God, that's wonderful. Like, what did you do? And she kind of gave us a couple of things she was doing that kind of led us off the path of like what our primary care physician was just like, yeah, this is the way your kid is. Yes. We're just going to have to deal with it. And she had these other ideas, and that's what my wife started going, oh my God, can I help my son? Like, so it was going through just totally like blindfold off. Oh my God, there's other options for my kid.
Right.
And then it was, oh my God, there's a billion of them. What one is going to work for my kid? And it's just, okay, this one seemed to work for a second, but didn't. And this one never worked. Maybe this one will, blah, 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 blah. And just going through all of these to this point, and we're seeing a lot of really good results this way.
Right. Yeah, I'm really happy. One thing that really got my attention was that you guys have done something, as aggressive as stem cells, like 4 times.
Yeah. And we did. I mean, we flew to Panama twice. Well, my wife and my son did. I had to stay here with the business and my other son. But we've done that. We've done chelation. We've done, all sorts of therapies, a whole lot of stuff,
Yeah.
And I mean, we've really checked every box we can check, I think, unless there's more out there. I don't know. I'm keeping an open mind.
Right. Yeah. Who would have thunk that, no travel, just, you guys are doing virtual appointments from home. Everything gets mailed to you, all the medicines, all the testing, it's without even leaving the house. And now you're seeing the most gains.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it's, it's been great. And it's, we can mix these things up easily here and spend like an hour or so. We get everything situated. And then for the next month or whatever, we have everything. It's a quick, I get up in the morning, I have my coffee, I do my medication. And then when my son gets up, I do his, shower, get him to school. And then at noon, I do one. I give my son when he comes home, but they're already made out. So it's not a big hassle. And like you said, they arrive in the mail. Everything does. It's been great.
Right. Well, I have to say a big thank you for being here today. I think that is, what you said, the way you said it, is going to be very inspirational to many watching.
Well, I hope it helps, having gone through all we've gone through, and I know there are other people out there doing the same thing and are, whether they're in that position themselves or their kids are, or they know somebody, whatever, I know the struggle, and it's no joke. It's something like your kid means the world to you, and you do anything for them. And, you got to take care of yourself too. So if you're in that situation, obviously do it. So I hope it helps.
Yes, I'm always excited when mothers and fathers, get on the I want to get healthy bandwagon, and I'm able to treat the whole family. That's the best part.
Exactly. Hey, if I'm going to feel younger and happier and healthier, hey, right here, I'll take it. Give me whatever.
Why not? Well, all right. So that's the podcast for today. Thank you for joining me. I shall see you right back here on the next episode of Autism Uprooted with BioNexus Health. Until then, take care and be well. Namaste.
Thank you for joining Master Herbalist Dr. Jodie Dashore, Director of the BioNexus Health Clinic and BioNexus Herbals, on the BioNexus Health Podcast, where we explore and share information and stories about recovering and healing from chronic and environmental illnesses such as mold biotoxin illness, Lyme disease, autism spectrum disorder, fatigue, Crohn's and colitis, mast cell activation syndrome, PANDAS, and more. Please help us grow our message by subscribing to our podcast channel and sharing the podcast on your social networks. For more information, visit BioNexusHealth.com.
Information within this video, audio, or text, collectively known as the podcast, has not been reviewed by the FDA. Nothing within the podcast is intended as or should be construed as medical advice. Information is for general informational and educational purposes only. Consumers of the podcast should consult with their healthcare practitioners for medical recommendations. Seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider. Do not disregard the advice of a healthcare provider based on any information from the podcast. The information within the podcast may contain information concerning dietary supplements or over-the-counter products that are not drugs. Our dietary supplement products are not intended for use as a means to cure, treat, prevent, diagnose, or mitigate any disease or other medical or abnormal condition.